May of 1995, we set up shop in the basement of our apartment in southeast Minneapolis, and we began selling dial-up internet accounts. This is our 14th season of building a fiber network in the city of Minneapolis. So with the ultimate mission of being the first NFL city 100% covered by fiber. First became aware of Zyxel in the late 80s, early 90s. In those days, dial-up internet was the technology of choice, and Zyxel and US Robotics were in a race to who had the fastest dial-up modem. As we started to put together this fiber optic network, I just called Zyxel and they said, "Can we send you some samples?" And that was in 2009, and we've been running on their platform ever since. So today, our primary use of Zyxel switches is the customer access component of the fiber optic network. So currently, we have a little over 12,000 Zyxel switches running in production. So we break it down into three groups. You've got your single family home, a fiber optic cable running from a central office down through the public right-of-way in the street to a home. There'll be Zyxel switches in the central office. There might be a Zyxel switch in the homes. Then we'll go to a small multi-dwelling units. These will be 4 units or smaller, or large MDU units, which are 4 units and larger. And these would have either 1 or in some cases could have 20 different Zyxel switches inside the campus, with ultimately delivering the service to the end user. And then umbrellaed over this entire network is our Muni Wi-Fi network. We have 2,500 access points dotted around the city of Minneapolis that people can come up to, connect to, very similar to like a hotel, but this would be outdoor. So that access tier that Zyxel's key for provides currently speeds of gigabit, 2.5 gigabit, 5 gigabit, or 10 gigabit are the speeds that we offer. Once the connection comes from the street into an apartment or a multi-dwelling unit is the terminology we use, then from there we will deploy Zyxel switches generally in a communications closet or some sort of riser room, and then from that riser room we run Cat6 cables out to each individual unit. And with that Cat6 cable to the riser room, we're now able to provide 1 gig, 2.5 gig, and 10 gig to the actual individual living unit. And then from the riser room, we would then daisy chain or connect multiple Zyxel switches together in order to provide enough port capacity depending on the size of the unit. So if you envision a 4-unit building, relatively easy to do it with 1 switch. Imagine you have a 500 unit complex that would require multiple Zyxel switches to be dotted around the building to satisfy those needs. Our outdoor Wi-Fi access network with the 2,500 Zyxel access points are very similar kind of configuration, where we have a fiber optic cable that we run up a utility pole, where there we run into a Zyxel PoE switch, providing 1, 2.5, or 10 gig speeds at the pole. And then from that PoE switch, we actually power a Zyxel access point. So the nice part about the Zyxel platform is it's very modular. So depending on what is needed, you'll have a different switch families. So that PoE switch on the pole would be a different model, say, than a switch in a home. That might be different than a switch in an MDU. The nice part is we have all these different building blocks, so it allows us, even when a new opportunity comes in, to go in with our building blocks and build a solution, even if we don't already have one, with the full breadth of Zyxel products. And then recently, in the last number of years, we've been integrating our products into the Nebula Cloud. And the Nebula Cloud has been a real nice add for us for doing config management, backup, and just overall management of our network. Again, we've been with Zyxel since 2009, and the question I get often is why? And quite frankly, it's the people and the way they stand behind their product. You've got to make sure you have really reliable technology, and the only way to have that reliable technology is to have people that stand behind it. Zyxel's people are right there to help us along the way. And again, it allows us to deploy a platform that I like to coin boring. And what I mean by that is it just runs 24/7, 365. People use the internet and they never really even think about it because it's just running.